Hey, but this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless for tuning in. God bless for tuning in. And today I want to share pleasing people. And why is it that some of us just live to please people? And if you please people, if you always try to please everybody you can, you have a miserable life because we're not made to please everybody. We're not made to please everybody. And when we pleasing everybody and we're just running after them and just making sure that they're nothing wrong making sure somebody is okay, your loved one or your family member is okay. Nothing wrong with once in a while you got them, once in a while you spot them some money once in a while, but some people, when you consistently please them, some people are not grateful. Some people you could do for them, and the minute that you can't be available for them, all of a sudden now you're bad. All of a sudden now you're no good. All of a sudden now you're like, oh, like the very first time you do, every time you're there for them, but the very moment you need them to be there for you, they're nowhere to be found. You ever met people like that? They always ask you for favors all the time, and you're just there for them all the time, and you try to cater to their needs, but in the very moment you need them, they're not there for you. Or the very moment you cannot do something for them, all of a sudden, oh, you're the bad guy or you're the bad girl. It's just some people like that. And this is why we cannot always consistently strive to please everybody. Because if you do, you'll be in misery. And and you have to say to yourself sometimes too that because you're a person of integrity and you're a person that loves to help people, and you strive to help people, and you try to strive to lend a hand, all of a sudden now, some people use that to take advantage of you. And when they take advantage of you, you get bent out of shape. Why? Because you're trying to cater to everybody. And when you try to cater to everybody, it's a tough shoes to fill. So when you're taking a stand, like how Christ took a stand and he spread the gospel, not everybody will like you. Some people will be against you, just like they were against Jesus, and they're against any other leader that fought for injustice and fought for truth and fought for injustice to have justice, like Malcolm X, like Dr. King, like all the leaders, like Mahatma Gandhi, all the leaders of the past who fought for justice, who fought against injustice. Excuse me. I said who fought against injustice. You're gonna always have enemies. You cannot, and you realize you cannot please everybody. There's gonna be some things that you say people are not gonna like. There's gonna be some things that you do. Some people may like it. Some people may not like it. And the only being you should please is God, the Lord Jesus Christ. Because these people that talk behind your back, and these people that you're trying to run after and cater to, they don't have a hell to put you in, or heaven to take you to. And you only live this life, and you have to make a choice. And they got some people that are married that are they Listen, there's nothing wrong with catering to your spouse, but don't worship him. Don't worship them. There's people that, because their spouse do something, for example, I know somebody that just because that one person don't do something, like their wife don't do something, they don't do it. Like, oh, because my wife says no, I'm not going to a wedding, so therefore I'm not gonna go to a wedding. And we all have choices that we make. Because my wife is not going to my brother's wedding, so I'm not going to my brother's wedding. And we all have choices to make. And some of us, we make choices based on somebody else, not having a mind of your own. You're thinking that you're pleasing that person. And some of us make choices based on how some people feel. And some of us worry and live we live to get people's approval. And if you live just to get people's approval, you can never be used by the Lord. Because you're always trying to please and have people's approval. And you know you can't feel everybody's approval. There's some people in your family that they want you to go to a certain college, or they want you to go to college, but in your mind you want to take a trade school. And you're afraid, if you tell one of your parents or your parents that you're not going to college, you're going to a trade school, all of a sudden you're afraid to tell them because what the backlash that you're going to get. Because they're coming from an older generation, they don't know that a trade school could possibly make more money than you stay 4 years in the college. You could probably go to a trade school for 1 or 2 years and make more money than sitting in college for 4 years. But if you tell them that it's World War III in your house, in the house that you live in with your parents, never let people force you to do something you don't want to do. That's another thing. If your gut heart tells you not to do something, like put a tattoo on your body that you know that you don't want to do, or maybe you're a person that you never pierce your ears, and somebody pushed you to pierce your ears, and you're like, I'm not gonna do it. Or somebody forces you to drink alcohol, but you don't never put liquor to your lips. Never do something that you don't want to do to please people, because you'll be living in misery. You'll be miserable. And when you take a stand, not everybody's gonna root for you. Not everybody's gonna wanna root for you and say, hey. And we all have that time in our lives where we all have to make a direct decision. Which way you're gonna go? I have a portrait of the Apostle Paul displayed right here. Now, Paul, the Apostle Paul, was a man that used to hurt Christians, and he would persecute Christians. Until not one day on the road to Damascus, when the bright light came from the sky and blinded him. And ever since then, he was blinded. And then he was given an order as he was blinded to meet a friend, to meet somebody named starts with an S, Sanaias. And he met Sanaiah, and he told, and it was ordained for him to meet Sanaiah. But after Sanaiah, Paul's ministry began. And Paul was heavily persecuted for spreading the gospel. Because when he was able to see, he preached the gospel, spread the gospel, preached it. People hated him. People stoned him. People persecuted him. But my point is that you have to take a stand. And if you don't take a stand for something, you fall for anything. It's like back in the days, people used to take drugs just to be social. And some of these people, they know very well that, listen, I'm not supposed to take drugs, but they take it anyway to be social. And it destroys them at the end. It destroys them at the end. Because when you live to please people, when you live to please people, not they're going to be suffering, you're going to be suffering in the long run. So you got to ask yourself this. When you put yourself in debt for people, and when you take out and put yourself in debt, meaning that you take out a loan, and you know very well that you're not good at paying back loans, you know very well that loan is too much for you to pay back, but you take it anyway. Because somebody advised you. Especially if they don't know your expenses. If something in your gut tell you not to do something, don't do it. It could be the Lord speaking to you, saying not to do that. Because when you please people, what's done is done. And you're not pleasing unto the Lord, what's done is done. How about being peaceful to yourself for peace sake? How about striving not to always please people? Because some people live for the validations of other people. One time I mentioned in a stream that some women, they love to get the Brazilian butt lift or like to get a boob job because they found with a girlfriend. Or they try to look like somebody else. But that very thing that they're trying to do actually cause that person their life. Be yourself. Learn to take a stand. Let your yeas be yea. The Bible says let your yeas be yeas and your no's be no. And then when Paul was truly saved, the Apostle Paul, he took a stand for the Lord. And he went out and he ministered and preached the gospel. He went all over boldly preaching the gospel until his very last day when he was crucified. I fought the good faith. I fought a good fight. Now the live word today is coming out of Romans chapter 12 verses 1. Paul tells us that we should present our bodies in living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God. But if we are going to offer our bodies living sacrifice to please people, then must be God alone, and only Him we worship. Well, this is Zacchaeus coming to you with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. I got more content coming for you. And if you like this content, smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel, Zacchaeus Gospel. Be safe out there, y'all, and peace and blessings. Peace. Be safe.